Alright, so next thing you want to do is put some stitching grooves in. So I like to go, we got a 1/2 inch welt, so I'll go just about a 1/4 inch in. And all this is going to do is remove a little sliver of leather. Don't get too carried away with this. And that's going to leave a place for your stitches to rest. It's not completely necessary. You can skip this part. It just helps make the piece last a little longer. And we're going to go on the back side approximately right there. The tool I'm using is just a stitching groover. I don't know what brand it is. Stay back from that edge a little bit. You want to add a little bit of embellishment to this sheath. You could certainly go from here and stitch it and it would look absolutely gorgeous. I like to go one step forward and drop in a border line. And the tool I'm using now, it's the same tool, but I have a creaser installed. So all this is doing is putting a crease in the leather. Now whatever you do to leather typically stays permanently. So make sure to keep all your lines even, because this is the finished product. That's why I stopped short just at the corners. Then I go back and connect them with a second pass. That way I have a nice crisp corner with no lines running off into nowhere. That gives us a very nice detail. Takes your leather up to notch 2. You could run a border across the top. I just like to let the lines run out at the top, because I want it to match my stitch line, and I do want my stitches to run to the top of this basically. So now we're ready to stitch. So let me show you guys a couple tricks with stitching leather, if I can remember. I haven't hand stitched in a while. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is lay out our stitching holes. Now, this is a stitching punch. It's a 4mm 4-prong. It's got like a diamond tip on it. It's made by Craft Tool. It's probably Tandy or something. I don't know. Here's the thing. We're not driving this tool all the way through that leather. All I want to do is give an indentation in the top of the leather to know where my stitches are going to be. So I'll do the front side, and then I'll do the back side, and I'll show you how I transition that so that my holes are lined up. And we're going to use an awl to actually poke the holes as we sew. So a lot of guys drill these all the way through, or they try to punch these all the way through. That works, but then you have a hard time lining up your welt or your stitch line on the back side. So it's better to do it this way, I think. And I'm going to start down here in the corner because I want this transition corner to be even. So I'm just going to work up, going in. Maybe the first layer of leather, not quite. Try and hold my stitching all even, straight up and down 90 degrees. So then you gotta kind of get creative on your edge here. I'm gonna go down here to the bottom and I'm gonna put my first point into the first hole. We'll go 4. Okay. Now what I want to do, stick my awl all the way through this leather. If I can. So it popped out right there in the corner, right? So I'm going to stick my prong. Actually, I might go this way first. I'm going to stick my prong in that first hole. I might have to go one more. Yep. One more. I'm gonna line these up down here in the bottom. Another thing you could do is count the amount of holes and make sure you got the same amount of holes both sides. And I got 9 and 9. All right. So let's stitch it. We need to measure out how much thread we need. So I go just past where I need to end, bring it around, go just past where I need to end. So we need that long times 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just give her a little extra. You can never have too much. I don't remember what kind of thread this is. It's a very high quality hand stitching leather thread, but I don't remember what brand. I believe about it at Buckle Guy, and I couldn't tell you what size it is. I'm sorry, you're gonna ask those questions. You just kind of have to play with it and see what works for you. All right, the next thing you're gonna need is a couple stitching needles. These are harness needles. As you can see, they're not